Blood Vessel is a film by Play Network Studios. It was directed by Moses Inwang and it was written by Musa Jeffrey David. It runs for about 1 hour 59 minutes. Blood Vessel is a film that tells the story of 6 adults, Oyinbo Akemi, Abe, Tekene, Olotu, Boma, and Degbe, fleeing their town Nembe community with the intention of going to Brazil through a vessel due to the unrest in Nembe community as a result of the protest against oil spillage that has affected the land crops and contaminated water in the Niger Delta region, right? Now, their decision to flee from the community became necessary due to the army's restless and brutal search for Abe, Boma, and Degbe, but for Tekene and Olotu, they are off to search for greener pastures in Brazil. Originally, Degbe and Boma were the pioneers of the protest against oil spillage and were wanted by the army as a result of the death of an officer, right? And however, Oyin's father Ibie, who was angry at Abe for being in a relationship with his daughter, falsely reported Abe as the leader of the protesters and the cause of the officer's death. Now, with this unfolding event, after Abe freed Oyin from hostage, Abe and Oyin had no choice than to join Boma and Degbe alongside Tekene and Olotu, who seeks greener pasture abroad and originally had the connect for a space in the vessel to travel to Brazil. With this, the fate of these young adults became intertwined as they head for the same destination through Pere, who accepted the payment for their passage but later denied them totally. Now, with no nightly food as promised by Pere, these guys had to come out from their hideout into the vessel in search for food, which led them to Ogo, the illegal cargo smuggler who turned the vessel into a blood vessel. Regards to performance in this movie recorded great performance from all the cast. I mean, it was actually great. Moses Inwang has always been a great director who directed Bad Comment, Merry Men, Lockdown, and a bunch of other great films, right? And of course, I hoped for this. And when I saw this flawless performance in this film, it was mind-blowing actually, considering that most of these lead characters in this particular movie, ranging from David Ezekiel as Abe, Adobe Dibo as Oyinbo Akemi, Sylvester Eka as Tekene, Obinna Christian as Olotu, Levi Chikere as Degbe, were not all stars. I mean, they were not stars like we always see in movies that any movie they throw in a Nollywood star in front, but this was not the case in this particular movie, including Alex Budin acting the role of Igor, who resides in Los Angeles pursuing his acting career, except for Gideofo, also known as Swanky JKA, who has recorded some awards and nominations in the Nollywood industry. The supporting cast, comprising of Nollywood veteran actors from Bimbo Manuel, Francis Duru, and many other actors, brought in fine-tuning performance that made up the movie. So in this particular movie, I can say performance was actually great. Not forgetting the ex-Baby Brother Niger star Pere, who just had 3 appearances, I think, thereabout. It was actually great. Cinematography in this movie was great. Camera movement was actually great. Shots were carefully planned to follow the storyline, especially the establishment shot on Abe at the beginning of the movie and the Dutch angle at some point later on in the movie. All were good. I mean, in short, cinematography in this movie was on point. There was no waste of shots that didn't communicate a purpose, right? So it was actually great. Lighting was top notch, I can say. It was carefully and moderately done to tell the story of the environment, right? Especially the night scene where Tekene had snake around his neck after the hideout from the soldiers. It was actually good. Makeup also was great. I mean, special effect makeup was great. Now, my observation in this movie is that Moses Inwan really paid attention to details in this movie, giving every shot a purpose, with camera angles explaining positions and behavior of all characters. Even away from characters and actors doing exceptionally well, the cinematography was also good. Looking at the Dutch angle shot establishing some scenes, I mean, they were really well and it communicated the actions from the point of view perspective, which was actually great. Away from the camera, hearing how the sound score of this movie changes from location to location, telling the different stories of the environment, was actually relatable, right? Now, for instance, when they were still in Nembe community, the sound score there had a side beat like that of a heartbeat, conveying the tension in the picture, right? It really portrayed the environment with chaos and protest, keeping one at the edge of his seat with rising tension, actually. Coming to ushering in Ego as a character when landing from the helicopter into the ship, the beat there changes to mixed action beat with a touch of suspense. And from the first point where Ego fired his gun, again, the beat also changes to a clock-like beat that ushered in the actions, which were all interesting actually. Worthy of mentioning are the extras in the protest and how believable it was shown in the beginning of the film, which exactly portrayed Nigerians' way of protest and Niger Delta way of protest in particular. Also, the movie didn't overdo itself. It followed the character development established from the beginning, right? Left to other directors, they would have told us that Abe suddenly knows how to fight. But in this movie, we saw the mistakes of Abe, that is coming out from his hideout when Oyin was captured without a plan. That is one mistake we saw. The second one was the gunfiring scene where he fired gun at Igor's boy that shook him to spray the bullets rampantly instead of shooting directly, which really communicated to us that he didn't know how to shoot a gun. He didn't know how to handle a gun like that, which actually follows the character development. And thirdly, his inability to throw a punch throughout the fight, but only using equipment, showed how immature the character was with regards to fighting, which actually is in line with his character because he wasn't developed to fight. And that was great actually. But amidst these great performances, I just have to say that in as much as the fight between Igor and Abe was convincing, Igor's punch on Abe towards the end there was not believable at all. It was clearly landing on the container. So for me, it wasn't believable. At the end, this movie Blood Vessel is really a film to see. With exceptional cinematography, Moses Inwan told us a clear story on how the challenges caused by the protests in Nembe community and the belief of Oyin's father throws Oyin, Abe, Boma, Tekene, Degbe, and Olotu's fate into the blood vessel. Guys, thank you very much for being with me to this end. And as always, if you have not subscribed, please do that below. And if you like what I'm doing, please click the like button. As always, see you in my next movie review. Salute.